Why do fathers have to pay so much in child support? That is literally the question I just received from the phone call I just got off. Hi everyone, my name is Kaosy Umeh, aka Attorney Know It All, and I'm here today to talk to you today about a phone call I literally just got off. And was a father calling to want to know how much he needs to pay in child support. And when I gave him an estimate, he wanted to know why it was so high. So the background is that father, let's call him Joseph, and mother, let's call her Mary. Yes, I know. But anyway, the client calls me, Joseph calls me, and he's a trucker. So Joseph just learned that his wife Mary was leaving him. So Joseph was actually on the road when he got this phone call, and really, when he came home, Mary was already gone. They were in an apartment, so there was no issue of property. The only issue is custody and, well, child support. So Joseph makes around $69,500 a year, and Mary makes around $21 per month. And when I gave him the estimates of what he would have to pay every month in child support for his two children, he wanted to know why it was so expensive and how he could afford his rent afterwards. And I had to explain to him that this is not a decision that the courts make per se. That there is a calculator that exists that the courts and we attorneys use in order to come to this number. And I'm going to take you to this. So I'm just going to pop back over. And this is the website we use. The court has its own child support calculator subscription, so it doesn't need to go to this website. But for everybody else, I would recommend going to this website. It is dhs.maryland.gov/child-support-services. There it goes. Go to this website. If you're ever wondering how much you need to pay in child support, this is the best place to get your information when you live in the state of Maryland, at least. Okay, so from there you go here and you can see estimator. You agree to the disclaimer and you pick which situation applies to you. So you use these first two support guidelines if you have a case that was filed after July 1st, 2022, and you use this bottom two if this is probably a child support modification case and was filed before July 1st, 2022. And that's the original case was filed before July 1st, 2022. So in this case, because Joseph is a trucker, he isn't home much, it's going to be Mary who will more than likely end up with primary custody. And because of that, we're going to choose the primary custody calculator, and that's worksheet A. So we click on worksheet A, and I believe I already have that page open. And let's see. Oops. Yeah, I already have this page open. And as you can see, it already has Joseph and Mary's information in here. So what you need for now is this. It says here that they have two children. As I said, Joseph makes roughly $69,500 per month, and that is equivalent to $5,732 per month. And Mary makes $21 per hour, and that's equivalent to $3,640 per month. So in this scenario, Joseph is the one who's responsible for the health insurance expenses, and that's roughly $200 a month. And again, I'm using rough numbers because he doesn't have a pay stub in front of him to give me the exact numbers. And Mary pays for daycare, which is $800 per month. And daycare is really for their youngest child. I believe he was 4 years old, and the eldest child is 7 years old. So we put those numbers in, and again, it's a simple calculator. And the calculator tells us that Joseph is going to owe $1,541 in child support every month. And as you can see here, there's also an amount that Mary owes, and that is $306. So this $306 would have come in play if Joseph ends up with custody. So if Joseph ends up being the primary custodian, Mary is going to owe him this amount in child support. And as you can see, that also includes the $800 that Mary's paying in daycare every month. So another thing that happens is he mentioned his rent and how he wouldn't be able to afford his rent if he has to pay this $1,500 per month in child support. Because remember, the amounts given on top are pre-tax amounts. This is how much he makes before any taxes are taken out. And he's saying after taxes come out, I'm looking at barely $3,000 per month. how can I pay this amount, 1,500, which is it's going to be a little less than half of his monthly income if he's paying 1,541 per month. But as you can see, the court does not take into account how much you pay for your rent, how much you pay for food, how much you pay for clothes, or activities the kids need to be involved with. These are all that they take into consideration. Your pre-tax income, whether or not you're paying child support to anyone else, if you're paying alimony to anyone else, if you're receiving alimony from anyone else, and then we go down here, the work-related child expense, the health insurance, the extraordinary medical expenses, and extraordinary medical expenses tends to be if your child needs I don't know, maybe a surgery or something that isn't necessarily covered by your health insurance company. This is where we come to the extraordinary medical expenses. And then we have the cash medical support. And this typically applies to things like copays. Yes, your insurance is going to pay for the doctor's visits, but you still have to pay your $10, $20 copay. And then we have additional expenses. What I typically put in here are things like tuition. So when we have families where they have agreed that their children will be attending private schools, this is where that amount would go in. And whoever's paying it would simply just go under their category. And this is really all you put in when you have a case where there's one party who's going to be the primary custodian. I know a lot of people can find it frustrating because you have all these other monthly expenses. And as you can see, there's absolutely nowhere in this calculator to put those in. And this is all that the court can do. And the only way the court can deviate from this amount of 1541 is if Mary agrees to let Joseph deviate downwards. So if Mary looks at this and goes, 1541 is too much, he wouldn't be able to live if he's paying that to me every month. I'm willing to accept $1,000. I'm willing to accept $1,200. The courts will say yes. So everyone, I hope you found this helpful. Please do not forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments below. And again, the subscribing, I guess, helps with my channel. So I would really appreciate if you did that. And let me know if there are any other topics you'd like me to discuss. I will be glad to do that. Have a good one.